I just had the worst experience with a contractor, and I'm about to tell you guys everything. But first, let's back it up all the way from the beginning. What's up guys, Jeremy here. Welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know, earlier in March, I actually bought my first property and I actually made a video about how I did that. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description below, so go check that out so you can get all the backstory about how I found this condo. So right when I bought it, I immediately wanted to start renovations right away. However, due to the pandemic, I had to wait about 2 months before I could even begin. But that was the least of all my unnecessary frustration. Before we begin this video, I just want to put it out there that this video is in no way meant to talk bad about anyone. I am just speaking facts and telling exactly what happened. I'm just telling a story basically. I'm just speaking from my experiences. But before we do that, all I have to say is please press the like button and subscribe to my channel, and we'll get started with that right away. So anyway, I ended up choosing the wrong contractor, and this guy ended up being one of the most unprofessional people that I've ever dealt with. And that is the nicest thing I can say while maintaining my professionalism. Now, before I even began this video, I thought long and hard and debated of whether or not I should make a video like this. So I didn't want to come off as being that guy who put someone blast on the internet. Because, you know, it's Hawaii and it's a small place and everyone knows everyone and, you know, word gets around. Whew. Sorry about that. I'm glad I got that out of my system. But anyway, as I was saying, Hawaii is a very small place, and if you do someone wrong, word is gonna spread around very quickly. So as professionals, we always wanna be nice to everyone and do a good job. So yes, I was thinking about making this video, and I thought about all the unnecessary trouble that I had to go through, the unnecessary expenses that I had to pay, which totaled up into about almost over $30,000. The amount of frustration and helplessness that I felt in my position, the endless anxiety that I had to deal with when I was just thinking about what I just did with my first property that I ever bought in my life, and the 7 months of sleepless and uncomfortable nights sleeping on my mom's couch. Have you seen my mom's couch? It's not comfortable. So after thinking about all that trouble that I had to go through, I thought, F it. Let's talk about this guy. But with intentions of teaching you, the viewers at home, what mistakes not to make when you're renovating your home. And if you're living in Hawaii and you want to know who to avoid. Alright, so before I chose this guy, we'll call him Romano. I knew that when you're choosing contractors, you want to have at least 3 different contractors giving you estimates. I did that, and all the estimates were, you know, relatively about the same. However, with Romano's price, he said that with his price, I'm going to have to pay $20,000 for materials. And you know, this guy was saying like, hey, you can't tell anyone about this price because what I'm giving you is a good deal. Oh, and for those that don't know, this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo that's about 800 square feet. But in the end, Romano ended up being a little more expensive compared to the other contractors. But I liked Romano at the time. He seemed cool. He was what some people call a serial entrepreneur. And another thing that I liked about him was that he was a veteran. And that was one of the main reasons why I chose him. My dad is actually a retired major in the US Army. And so I always try to help veterans as much as I can. That is mistake number 1. Do not choose someone based on irrelevant things. Him being a veteran had nothing to do with being a good contractor. I let my emotion dictate that decision. Don't do that. Choose the right person for the job based on the fact that they are good for the job. It's simple. Second thing is that he proposed that we create this team. He said that since I'm a real estate broker and he was a contractor, that we could, you know, create this system. Basically, he would refer me clients and I would refer him business. And by doing so, he would cut me in on the deal. The entrepreneur in me was like,
wow, oh my God, this guy is so cool.
So I thought, Romano might be a little more expensive, but you know, he's gonna make all of this and do all of that, and he promised all of these things, you know, and he's a veteran, you know, I'm gonna support veterans because I love to support veterans, and he's an entrepreneur, and then, oh yeah, we're gonna make this super team, and I'm gonna get some deals out of, you know, from him because he's gonna send them to me, and you know, it's gonna be this super good business relationship, and you know, like, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Nope. It ended up being a very bad time.
Gonna have a bad time.
Second mistake, don't let potential future business dictate the decision on which contractor you want to work with. I didn't know this, but after talking to some people in the construction business, apparently this is something people do as an incentive for you to choose them. I mean, it kind of makes sense, like, hey, choose me, I'll send you some more clients, but don't let that affect your decision. Forget about teams or forget about any referral business that this person might offer. When you refer someone to a business, or like when you refer someone a restaurant, you refer to them because your experience with them was awesome. When you went to a restaurant, when you refer that restaurant, you're saying that because the food was good, the service was good. When my friends refer me to their other friends as a realtor, it's because their experience with me as a realtor was good, because I did a good job. This guy was talking about referral business before he even started, and I fell for it. Make sure the person you get does a good job and does the job right. If and when they do that, then you can start talking about referral business. So then after he gave me the proposal, he kind of started pressuring me to start ASAP. He kept saying stuff like, oh, like, don't you want to get this place done ASAP? Like, the sooner we start, the sooner you can get your place done. And what sucks is that I just had this gut feeling that told me, Jeremy, don't start, just wait a little bit longer. But this was my first time. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought, all contractors were supposed to be like, go, go, go. And, maybe this guy, he's an entrepreneur, right? He's supposed to be on it all the time. No, listen to your gut feeling, people. No one should ever pressure you to do any kind of business with them. If they are pressuring you, then chances are
you're gonna have a bad time.
So in May, we finally began the renovation, and that consisted of the demolition of the floors, as well as the cabinets that used to be right here on top of the sink. But wait. My building said you had to wait because of COVID, so they didn't want any construction people coming into the building to do construction, so we had to wait. And this was all after the demolition of all this stuff. So I had to live in my half demolished condo for 3 months, from May to the end of July, and it sucked a lot. I had no stove, I had no oven, I had no floors, I had no kitchen sink, I couldn't cook or bake, and if I had dishes, I couldn't wash it in my sink because I had no sink, so I had to wash it in my bathroom sink. And there was just all the crap from the demolition in the middle of my living room, and I was living in that for 3 months. Then finally, in August, we finally get the green light to begin this renovation. For real this time. So cool, they brought out all the crap from the living room, they took it out, and then they started working on the floors, and while all this was going on, they would be sending me invoices and I would be paying them accordingly. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I agreed to. I agree that, I would be paying for materials, and he sends invoices, then I pay the invoices, and at the end of all this renovation, I would probably have spent around $20,000 in materials on top of the labor. And then after they were done with the floors, I came in here and I looked up and I was like, I'm going all out for this renovation. I might as well remove the popcorn ceiling. So then I decided to ask him, hey, how much is it to add popcorn ceiling removal? I thought because this guy's giving me a deal and he's helping me out so much, he's gonna take care of me and give me a good price, right? Wrong. He said that for popcorn ceiling removal in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 800 square feet condo, that it would cost $12,000. I'm no expert in construction or anything like that, but that just sounded way too much. So I started asking around about popcorn ceiling removal, and all the answers I was getting was nowhere near $12,000. And it was at that moment I knew something was up. So when I knew something was wrong, that's when I started to count up all the invoices that I had been paying for the past couple of weeks. When I calculated everything that I already paid for, the total came out to around $23,000. Keep in mind, the cabinets haven't even started yet, and we just finished the floor. That was it. So right when I came to that realization that I've already spent more than I was supposed to in materials, and we just finished the floor, that was it. Right when I realized that, I immediately started crapping bricks. This is mistake number 3. Keep track of your expenses. Don't rely on anyone else. Romano said he was gonna keep track of everything and count it up, and even though he promised that materials would only be around $20,000 for the whole thing, that ended up screwing me over. It is your money at the end of the day, so it is your responsibility. So I called this guy and I said, yo, what is going on, man? Like, you said it would be $20,000 for the whole thing. I've already spent $23,000 in materials. What's going on? If I continued this renovation, this entire thing is gonna cost me around $100,000, if not more than that. And then this guy says,
Oh yeah, I thought we talked about that in the beginning. You know, I thought I said it was going to cost around $100,000.
are you kidding me? So long story short, we get into this argument over the phone and I'm just trying to tell him, nope, we can't do this. We need to cut this renovation because I can't afford this. This is way over my budget. And in that conversation, it kind of pissed me off because he just kept interrupting me and just talking over me. And every time I tried to speak, he wouldn't let me speak. And he said some BS like,
Oh yeah, you know, we're relying on this job and this income, you know, you can't, it's kind of messed up that you would, you know, cut the job in half.
okay, so as a business professional, if your client or your customer is upset or they have a problem and they're talking, you let them talk. You shut your mouth and you let them speak and you listen. So with his reaction, what that told me was that he was unprofessional and he has never done this before. Basically, he had no idea what he was doing. So after a couple days of talking back and forth, it finally ended in us agreeing to cut the job. He would just finish the floors, which were already done, and he would finish these cabinets that you see behind me. So you would think that, okay, cool, we had our disagreements, we had our beef, we squashed it, we came to an agreement. Now we're just gonna finish what we've agreed to, and then we're just gonna do a clean break and then go our separate ways, and everything's gonna be good, right? No. So later, I kind of realized that Romano's role in his company was pretty much nothing. It was him and his partner, we'll call his partner Victor. And now that I think about it, I think Romano was just a middleman to the middleman. And the other middleman was Victor. And Victor was part of the freaking problem as well. So I guess when I think about their company, I think Victor was the main guy. He had his people and his team. And after we agreed to just do the floors and the cabinets that you see behind me, this guy decided to take his sweet time. Now, I'm no expert, but it's just these cabinets. So I think it would have took maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. But no, this guy took 1 month with these cabinets. And here's the thing, I paid him in full. Mistake number 4 is never pay in full. Always keep your contractors wanting money. So he had all my money and he had full control. If I didn't pay him anything, he would have more of an incentive to get the job done faster. But because he has all of my money already, he can just do whatever he wants. So with this whole thing, first of all, there was no communication whatsoever with Victor. One problem, for example, is these cabinets is one day I just come in and that was just there. And I originally had plans to have a vent that went up like this. Something that kind of looks like this. So yeah, that was there. He didn't even ask me if I wanted a vent. He just stacked that cabinet. So I was like, okay, I guess. So I texted him and here's the conversations. And as you can see, like there was just nothing. It was just there. And he's like, oh, you can just get it. So I got these vents instead. So in the end, I just bought a regular vent and then they put it there and they just cut holes in the cabinets just to make it work. And then we can begin the most frustrating part of this renovation that all happened at the end. And this was so frustrating. Like all of my close friends know what I was going through and this crap made me almost lose my mind. At one point in time, I come back to the condo after 2 weeks and nothing was done. Nothing for 2 weeks. Here's the conversations. All right, Tuesday, October 6th. Hi, I went to the place again and I don't know what work was done last week, but I want to be on the same page. For scheduling purposes, could you help me understand what days you'll be working this week and the expected milestones you guys are planning to accomplish? All right, so keep in mind, this really wasn't me typing, it was my friends. I was just so frustrated and really I needed them to help me figure out what to say without me blowing up. So the next day, hey, hate to be such a bother, but just really need an update on when the cabinets will be completed. Then I asked, do you know when it's gonna be completed? No reply. 5 hours later, hello, just following up again. No reply. Then 3 days later, I finally get a reply. I'm gonna get the last cabinet on Monday. By the end of the week, should be done. 5 days later. Hi, what time are you going to be there tomorrow? In the morning. That's so specific, thanks. Friday, October 16. Hey, just stop by, looks nice. Total sarcasm, by the way. Are you going to be complete by the end of the day? because he said it should be done at the end of this week. The next day, no reply. Hello again, has it been completed? And then no reply. Then finally on Sunday, hey, I just have to install some appliances. And then on Tuesday, I still don't get reply. So I say, hey, so what's up? Is it finished yet? You said it was gonna be done by the end of this week. Then he said Monday, and then it's Wednesday, still no reply. Hey, can I get an update? Like, this guy sucks at communication. And then finally, I said, can I get it completed by tomorrow? I need a completion date, a set completion date. Please. Tomorrow comes and it's the morning and I just lost all my patience. So I'm just trying to bug this guy as much as possible. No update. Finally, the next day, Friday, October 23. Can I please get an update? As you can see, it is just so frustrating. And at one point during all of this stupid back and forth crap, you know, Romano calls me and is like, hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, so how's your renovation going? What do you mean, how's my renovation? Like, you're doing it. Like, you tell me, bro. And at that point, I was just completely over it. I was like, screw this guy. But wait, there's more. Victor didn't even finish what he was supposed to do. Like, he did the cabinets, but he left the place a complete mess. There's sawdust everywhere, there's junk, he left a bunch of trash, and on top of that, he didn't even finish these drawers. There's 2 stalls in there that are just empty. And basically, there's just a bunch of stuff that was done incorrectly that my new contractor has to fix. But after all of that, and after getting a new contractor, I was just so happy and relieved to get this first guy out of here. My new contractor is super amazing, and she works very fast, very professional, she communicates, and I'm just so happy that we're getting everything coming along. But now that it's finally done and we got it out of the way, let me show you guys what else I got planned and what's left to be done. So over here is the cabinets and the countertops over here. If you guys remember, I had cabinets up here. I turned them into lights. These cabinets right here. I have a wall microwave and oven, pretty nice. This is where the cooktop is gonna go. More cabinets here. This is where the fridge is gonna go. I mean, overall, the cabinets look nice, and they are nice. Some of the features are kind of cool, like this, and some are like the cabinet over here, where some of it is not functioning, which I need to spend extra money on to get it fixed. So hopefully you guys can see, but it's covered because we're doing the popcorn ceiling. But this is a cool like wood panel to fit my 82-inch TV. And over here, you can't really see it, but that's a fireplace. And I know what you're thinking, why on earth would I need a fireplace in a condo in Hawaii? That is a good question, and I have a good answer for you. And the answer for that is that here we are in the bathroom. As you can see, there's also gray wooden tile right here. Yeah, I don't know if you're seeing the pattern, but I like gray and I like wood. But I think it's a nice design. It has a nice modern look. And this is where the vanity and toilet is gonna go, right here. But that should be finished within the next 2 weeks. And I'm planning to put a big mirror with LED lights right over there. Here is how the bathroom looks like right now. Nice work in progress, but I really like this look. Alright, so there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this video taught you about what not to do and what mistakes to avoid when you're gonna renovate your home. I hope that, you know, through the mistakes I made, that this will teach you guys, you know, if you mess up or if you choose the wrong contractor, you could end up wasting a lot of money, and that is not fun, because we're all about saving money and making the right decisions, right? So again, this video was not meant to badmouth anyone. I'm just talking about my experiences with a certain contractor. I hope you guys, again, learn from this, learn from my mistakes, learn what not to do. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to my channel. My renovation should be done within 2 weeks, and after that, I'm gonna show you guys everything. I don't wanna show too much today, but I hope you guys, again, enjoyed this video. Thank you guys again for watching. See you next time.